ورجعنا لكم من جديد ومعنا ضيفنا بالاستديو مهند ذكرى الشريك المؤسس لشركة ستيلا ستيزي. أهلا وسهلا فيك معنا اليوم.
أهلا وسهلا.
كيفك اليوم؟
الحمد لله تمام.
حابين بداية تعطينا هيك نبذة عن الشركة وإمتى بدأتوها وليش حسيتوا لازم يكون في مثل هيك منصة؟
طيب ماشي. I'll give you a bit of an overview. فأنا اسمي مهند، مولود بالكويت بس عمري كان صغير. نزلنا على كندا. I was 8 years old. I studied over there. I started my career in consulting and I was traveling pretty much all the time. When I was traveling, I was either staying in a hotel or I was trying to find an apartment to live in. And the experience of staying in a hotel for a long time is not that great. You know, you don't have a lot of space. If you order food, they bring it on a tray. When you're done, you leave it in the hallway. And I knew that there was something better. For that time, they introduced Airbnbs, but there was not a lot of consistency. I don't know if you ever stayed in an Airbnb.
Of course, yeah.
Did you have good experiences?
Actually, for يعني لفترة معينة من الوقت كنت host على Airbnb.
Oh really? When home to Dubai? طب how was it?
Amazing.
Did you get 5-star reviews?
Yes.
There you go. فهو the whole concept إنه بتعرفي Airbnb is a marketplace of people like you. هلا some of them understand the art of hospitality. بس في الأسف there are some people that don't really understand it. It is. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And when at some point I sat down with a few friends in Canada where I was living in Montreal and we said there has to be a better way of doing this. Yani, let us create an experience, let us create a brand, let us create something that's also driven by tech. Yani, especially in the last 5-6 years, if you look at companies like Netflix, they changed the way we watch content. Amazon's changed the way we purchase products.
100%.
But when you think of the experience of renting a hotel room or renting an apartment, it's still very, very archaic, especially here in Dubai. Yeah.
يعني لسه ما زال الموضوع تقليدي أو أخذ الطابع التراديشنال as well.
Very traditional, very traditional. يعني شوفي اليوم في دبي أنا بس نزلت هون ب 2019. The process of renting an apartment is brutal. You have to go on listing sites. Some are real listings, some are fake listings. You have to deal with agents. You have to then try to schedule visits and you have to start paying deposits for D1, deposits for your agent. And at the end of the day, you're stuck with a 1-year contract. فإحنا the whole concept is with the new generation, especially with millennials, nobody wants 1-year commitments. If you look at what happened after COVID, and everyone right now wants that flexibility. So what we've done is we've built a brand where we can actually allow people to book a place to live or to stay, if it's for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year. But the whole thing is you want to be able to completely transform it and do it so that they can book a place to live within 5 minutes.
Okay.
And you can just show up and start living. But this is the motto that we go with, which is how do you just book a place, show up, it's furnished, everything is set up. If you want to stay for a month, if you want to stay for 2 months, you're paying monthly. And this is really where we believe the future is going to be.
مليون بالمية. بس مع هذا الشيء بيجي تحديات وتشالنجز. فخبرنا مثلا شوي هيك عن التحديات اللي واجهتوها.
هو شوفي بالبداية احنا بس اجينا على دبي وبدينا الشركة كان عندنا شقق موجودة بمدن زي مارينا بالداون تاون. هلا the first problem that we faced was you cannot create consistency if you don't have the full building experience. فبعطيكي example.
صح.
If you are, let's say you're an Airbnb host where you have an apartment in the marina in one of the towers. Your guest might come, but maybe during that week the pool is not working or the gym is not available. Your guest comes in and they're like, well, why is the pool not working? It's out of your control. You know, I'm sure.
Especially إنه بالفيتشرز أنت بتكون كاتب إنه في pool access مثلا.
بالضبط. This is a big issue. 100%. You might have other issues. They might close the gym. There might be an issue.
وفي أسهل من الريفيو والريتنج.
وخلاص راحت الريفيو بعدين. It's 1-star review and it's not in your hands.
Yes.
But this is where we had a huge challenge with that. And at some point in 2020, we realized if we want to build a brand at the same level, if not higher than a Four Seasons or a Sofitel, we have to enter into a new model and take over full buildings.
Wow.
فاليوم the model that we have in the cities that we're operating is we work directly with real estate developers. We go in there and we essentially explain our model and say, listen, you're building a residential tower. You have 200 apartments. You have 2 choices. One is the traditional choice. You go find 200 tenants. You sign tenancy agreements. بتعبي البناية بتاخدك شيء 6 أشهر لسنة. Or the other option is you come to us and we'll be your single tenant. You don't have to deal with 200 people.
Exactly.
You give it to us, and this is exactly what we're doing today. But we take on full buildings and we create an experience within that building as well.
قد ايه فرق معكم هذا الموضوع؟ لأنه this is a very smart strategy يعني لأنه حتى بالنسبة مو بس لموضوع الأكسس البول وغيره، مرات بتروح الناس على البيلدينج شيء ويمكن your apartment is like heaven for them يعني
Yes.
تكون انت عاملها 5 stars furnished وهيك بس تيجي على مثلا حتى الكوريدور ممكن ريحة ممكن هاي ففي different standards يعني.
Honestly هلا it's a game changer يعني when we realized this in 2020 we realized that we're not just solving a problem about helping people find a place to stay, we're actually solving a bigger problem, which is how do you create an experience? How do you create a community? للأسف يعني not only in Dubai but pretty much all over the world, most people don't know their neighbors anymore.
أبداً صح. صاروا يعملوا apps ليعرفوا النeighbors على بعضهم لهالدرجة.
بالضبط. وهلا إحنا one of the challenges is we're trying to target like-minded people. You know, next generation millennials and Gen Zs that are going to want to pay monthly and be in a building where you can find like-minded people. So we're spending a lot of time not only on the technology that we're building or the buildings that we're operating, but how do you actually create an experience? One of the examples we launched in Riyadh not too long ago. So we have a building there and we introduced very unique retail space, retail coffee shops. We wanted to create something different, something that the next generation people can understand. We also created a co-working space.
Oh, perfect.
Today, what we've realized is that any given time, people are so excited to come back to the building because they're creating connections.
Especially مع work from home كمان situation right now.
This is huge.
بالضبط.
This is huge.
Yeah. حتى ما بعرف إذا شفتوا ترند مع I'm sure you did بفترة كوفيد وما بعد كوفيد اللي هو الابارتمنتس اللي الناس عم تتجه لها، يعني الناس صارت عم بتفضل الابارتمنت اللي فيها حتى ديسك أو سبيس للي يشتغلوا منه بسبب الكالتشر تبع الورك فروم هوم هلا.
بالضبط. بعد كوفيد we realized a few things. أول شيء people are looking for space to work from home. This whole concept of digital nomads is huge. Especially today when we look over 60% of our bookings are long-term bookings يعني 1 month or more. And when we ask we're like, you know, who are you exactly? And most of them are digital nomads.
Nice.
They're software developers, they're artists, they're designers, they're coming here and they're creating, you know, profiles on companies like Upworks and they are taking jobs. Well, they're taking advantage of the freelancer license that's here in Dubai. But بنفس الوقت they're looking for a place where they can feel comfortable, they can feel creative, they can feel like they have a place to work, or they don't want that commitment. يعني بالأسف بس بالمستقبل الجيل الجديد will never look for a place to live for 1 whole year.
صح.
This is like saying, you know, like we're forcing you. No, they want flexibility. They want freedom, you know. And the same way, and if you think about it, Talabat, what they've done, and companies similar to Talabat, is they've created this freedom concept. You can go on an app, you click, and you order, and you have something, and it's very easy.
Groceries start تجيك in 20 minutes.
Groceries comes in 20 minutes. Now you can get clothes coming to your apartment within a day or two.
Pharmacy, أي شيء.
Everything. But the only space that has not been tackled is the rental space. And by the way, this is the biggest spend that we have as individuals. It's about 30% of our budget.
بالضبط.
وبالأسف it's completely outdated.
ومو بس هيك، حتى يعني فئة الشباب تحديدا بيعانوا من موضوع الشيكات، اوكي؟ صح. اللي هو انه معقول انا بدي اخذ بيت بدك يعني تجبرني اني ادفع لك اياه على شيكين او حتى 3 او الى اخره، وبتشوفهم عم بيقاتلوا to do it مثلا 12 or 6 months. However مثلا هون في flexibility اكثر انه خلص بيدفعوا على المنصه and everything is smooth.
احنا هون معانا there's no concept of checks. You come, you pay monthly, you pay by credit card. وبتعرفي كمان هو المشكله الواحد اذا بده يروح يأجر شقه قولي for example بالمارينا، هو yes you have the 3-4 check concept, but the move-in cost to move into apartment is very high.
طبعا.
You have the security deposits, you have the furniture that you have to buy. بتعرفي buying furniture
والmoving
والmove-in fee you know the security deposit for the agent, the security deposit, the commissions for the agent, the security deposit for the landlord, the time that you have to spend
internet
calling X company and going here and going there. And this, like, when you really step out and you think about it, for today's age, يعني بهذا الوقت, it makes absolutely no sense. This is why we say the concept of just show up and start living. يعني at the end of the day, you can see an apartment, I like it, it's branded, I know that there's consistency, I show up to the community, وخلص, I just have my luggage, I stay. I don't have to wait. Is the internet supplier going to come? Do I have an issue? It's all taken care of.
That's amazing. طب بس في منافسة وانتم منافستكم كبيرة، يعني انت من البداية قلت Airbnb مثلا موجود صح بالساحة،
صح.
فليش الناس مثلا تتجه لستيلا ستيز ولا مثلا ما تروح عند Airbnb؟
شوفي Airbnb ككونسبت هو ماركت بليس، فit depends on the quality زي booking.com. فbooking.com عندك فنادق 5 star 4 star 3 star. هلا today people are looking at furnished rentals يعني more than ever. بس they want consistency. بالاسف هون الواحد يعني بتسالي الشعب اللي ساكن هون خايفين من الاير بي ان بي. احنا most of our guests by the way what they tell us, thank God the picture and the reality looks the same.
الكريديبيلتي عالية.
This is the issue. For the credibility is a big piece. The other piece is the fact that we have full control over the building, the consistency, the community. وطبعا we have a big portion of it is the technology as well. So we've built an app today plus all of the back-end systems, but through our app you can book, you can pay. We have smart home technology in all of our units. فأنت فكري بالconcept إنه تستأجري شقة بيجي لك كل الانفورميشن. You submit all of your IDs in the app وبيجي لك بعدين smart code lock to enter the door.
بالضبط.
فبتدخلي بالبناية you don't have to go see anyone.
No human interaction.
There isn't. But that human interaction is not required.
Yeah.
هلا if you want to create human interactions, we have the coffee shops, we have the co-working space, people to get together. But to go and wait,
it's
not forced.
Human
يعني why would I
interaction.
have to go and wait and here's my passport and here's my ID and here's my credit card? I'm just tired. I want to show up in my apartment and start living. But the technology is a big differentiator.
ومو بس هيك، بتعرف موضوع التكنولوجي يعني اتس هول ايكو سيستم. يعني مثلا من احد الامور اللي واجهناها يمكن حتى انا وعلي معنا بخلف الكواليس، انا مثلا البنك تبعي ديجيتال اوكي اصلا ما بيطلع دفتر شيكات.
صح.
ماشي، اللاندلورد تبعي بده شيكات مثلا، تعا اقنعه انه البنك تبعي مثلا ديجيتال. فخلص في بعض السيكتورز عم بيروحوا فولي ديجيتال، بس لازم كل الايكو سيستم توجذر تو جو بالرقمنه.
This is a very important point. شوفي هو one of the challenges احنا that we made as a decision is we did not build a marketplace. احنا we realized that in order to give the right experience we have to have the technology, yes, but we have to have the properties that are completely under our control. It's kind of like Apple. They said we need to have the hardware and the software so that the device works very well. And in our side, we said we need to have the towers, the branded residences, the technology and the community, and it all has to fit together in order to create that experience.
مليون بالمية.
So this is a very important
بس
aspect.
إرضاء الناس غاية لا تدرك، وأنتم عم تتعاملوا دايركتلي مع الناس، فكيف تتعامل مثلا مع شخص أو زبون ممكن ما عجبه المكان أو إلى آخره، وبتعرف الناس أذواق، فمرات في شغلات مثل ما قلت مو بإيدك ممكن تكون، فكيف ممكن تتعاملوا؟
فهم الزبون بس يوصلوا بالشقة أول شيء عندهم through the app you have access to everything that you need. For example, if you need more towels, you put in a request. If you have an issue, let's say for example you're like I have a water leak. بتصير.
Obviously, yeah.
So what we've done is we've also digitized that. So you go to your app, you go to My Stay, and you want to report an issue. You say I have a maintenance problem. You take a problem, click, send the picture in. What happens is it comes onto our site. We've built our own system to manage anything that comes in from a guest. Do you need amenities? Do you need towels?
Okay.
Do you need to extend your stay? Do you have an issue? When you have an issue, we're very transparent. You know, we've received your case. Here's when it's going to be resolved. It's kind of like how with Uber you can see when they're coming. We're providing a similar experience. But what we do as much as we can is we want to try to help them out. يعني one of the teams that we have, which is a very critical team, is our guest experience team. So it's very important.
Very critical.
You know, like we try to hire people that understand and can be empathetic with guests because you still have that human element.
For sure.
But the technology side helps a lot. I think when people see what we're offering and the fact that it's digital in the same way that you appreciate digital banking, we're creating this digital prop tech experience, for people very much appreciate it.
وين بتشوف البروب تك بالفيوتشر؟ هل especially بالمينا ريجن؟
Yeah. شوفي هي البروب تك you know, one of the things that I say with prop tech at the end of the day, it's building technology to help simplify how people manage, rent, sell apartments. I think the big challenge and one that we're working on is there is a huge gap when it comes to everything related to real estate in the region. There's a huge opportunity. يعني بتروحي مش بس هون بالإمارات بس بالسعودية بمصر بقطر بالكويت. There's so much real estate. احنا ما شاء الله العرب we love real estate. This is like number one.
اصلا اول ما يكبر الولد بيقولوا له انه لازم تشتري بيت.
لازم تشتري بيت. بس بالاسف يعني the experience is not there. I think that احنا we're spending a lot of time not only thinking about the technology but thinking about the experience. يعني and there are so many parts to real estate. The property listings like Property Finder. You have the real estate agent side. You have the mortgage side. You have the payment side. But what no one is really thinking about is how do you actually solve the experience? And how do you bring that aspect of culture, that aspect of community into the technology? Everything is related to an experience today. يعني anything that anyone does, especially the new generation, whether you're going to eat something or you're going on a trip or you want to go to have a specific night out, you're all the time looking for an experience. And I think that one of the elements that we're very focused on is how do we create an experience where someone like yourself can really feel that renting is not just about living, but that the future of living is an experience, it's a community, it's connecting people together. For a big portion of PropTech, there's a lot of opportunities. Yes, the technology is important, but you have to start with the experience. You have to start with the culture. You have to understand what are the pain points, so how do we bring that in to the technology.
في shift بالمايند سيت. يعني I have one of my friends بيروح من شقة لتانية every couple of months. وبيحب الفول ديزايند مثلا واشياء غريبه بالابارتمنت and that's the lifestyle he's living مثلا. هذا الشيء ما كان موجود قبل. نحن بنعرف انه انت قعدت بشقه مينيموم كم سنه لازم تضلك قاعد فيها، عرفت كيف؟ now it's totally shifting. يعني وفعلا في ناس صاروا فلكسبل اكثر، انه ما في مشكله انه انا كل كم شهر مثلا غير الابارتمنت تبعي.
هو شوفي زي ما قلت، يعني احنا الفكر كمان معانا العرب كنا we find a place وخلص for the next 10 years this is where we live, but today it's completely different. يعني the way work is evolving as work is changing. يعني this whole concept of work from home, this whole concept of being a freelancer does not mean that I have to live in a specific neighborhood. This is what we're seeing. يعني احنا we're noticing that the people that are staying with us long term, they want to say, you know what, I need to be in the downtown area for the next 3 months. I have a very important project.
بالضبط.
After that, I have a bit of time. طب let me go live maybe on the palm, maybe in the marina, or you know what, let me go try to see what's happening in Riyadh.
مليون بالمية فعلا.
فهو يعني the world is your oyster at the end of the day. يعني and what we have to do is we have to enable that opportunity.
صح.
واليوم the options are not there. يعني today the options are either you stay in a hotel, which is going to cost you a lot of money.
وما بتحس إنه you're at home. You can't.
Exactly.
You can't.
This is the problem. This is the challenge. This is the challenge.
Well, I feel this is a challenge as well for short-term rentals لحتى يعملوا السبيس يعني like home for others. لأنه هي مو بس الفurniture، هي عن جد اللوك and feel كمان. It should feel like home لما ينتر، مو مجرد إنه تخت موجود وفurniture موجودة وخلص مثلا.
This is a very important point. يعني إحنا from day one we you know, we have an interior design team. It's not just about the furniture, but it's also about how do you create that feeling of being in a home. وكمان what's interesting about it is that you have different types of people, right? You have and different types of neighborhoods. So we're spending a lot of time understanding how do you create designs that are relevant to, for example, the person that's more on the go, the person that's more creative, the person that just wants comfort. How do you bring in the local aspect of a city into a unit? Yani we recently launched in Istanbul. We wanted to take the cultural element. MashaAllah, yani Istanbul has so much culture. So you have a huge opportunity to look into the designs, which today you don't get with hotels. Unless you go boutique and it's going to cost an arm and leg. But most of the hotels,
they look the same almost. يعني.
They look the same. وإحنا when we take a building, we create variations in the units.
وبتحس حالك رايحة اوتيل. يعني أنا
صح.
يعني
as soon as you step in.
Yeah, literally, which is good for مثلا كم يوم أنت بدك تروح عليهم، بس يعني ما بحس for a stay.
صح.
اللي تحس فيها إنك أنت فتحت الباب it feels مثلا like home. طب بس أنتوا كستيلا ستيز خبرنا شو خططكم المستقبلية؟
هلا إحنا موجودين ب5 مناطق. إحنا هون بالإمارات، بكندا، بالسعودية، بالبحرين وبإسطنبول. But we're seeing the opportunity as a global opportunity. يعني now we're about to launch 2 other countries. Literally, like we want to bring this brand, which is a UAE built and inspired brand with all the innovation that's here. And we have plans to continuously grow in the region, globally as well. يعني it's just a huge opportunity, and we're very passionate about it because it's something that we feel, it's something that we understand. At the end of the day, it's a problem that exists globally.
100%. وعم نشوف شفت مثل ما قلنا يعني كبير وترانزيشن بهذا المجال.
100%.
كل التوفيق لكم يا رب، وشكرا كثير لك ولوجودك معنا. شكرا لكل الناس اللي تابعتنا. أنا بشوفكم بكرة بنفس الموعد. نهاركم سعيد جميعا. شكرا كثير.